How's everybody doing today? This is the day after the 4th. Hope everyone is doing good, Hopefully not nursing too much of a hangover. Should probably check this while I'm looking at it. Bear with me. Those wires look alright. So, give you a quick rundown. I did a live where I put these struts in and the sway bar links and some other parts. I still have to do the rear shocks. And then I had the shut the light off before it dies. And then I had I had this sensor here that I replaced. Now that was, come on with the zoom. I don't know if you can see that right there. Come on with the zoom. I need to find out how to take that auto zoom off, but that's the sensor right there with that tube. So I put the struts in, and then I put the sensor in. That was flooding out my engine every time I was filling up with gas. So once I got that in, I finally had all the lights off in the dash, and I was psyched. 3 days later, after I let the car sit for 3 days, all the lights are on in the dash. Well, not all of them, but the check engine, the ABS, and the traction control light is on. So I get to thinking, maybe it's been on for a little while and I didn't realize it, because like where the lights are is like level with the steering wheel. But I ruled that out because the cruise control doesn't work now, and I use the cruise control all the time. So that came on while it was just sitting here. So I'm like, all right, are the mice is getting in here, because I have shit like this going on, but no wires. I honestly think this is from the previous owner, because this car came from Maine or New Hampshire. But anyways, I scanned the code and it came up with a speed sensor A. So doing a little bit of research, I looked that up, and typically A here would be the driver's side, but since these are made overseas as well, A could be the right hand side for right hand drive. So I bought all 4 sensors anyways, and I did this one yesterday. Didn't put the light out. Alright, do a little more research. A could be the passenger side, because these were made overseas. So I start taking the sensor out, and I'm looking, sensor looks nice. Doesn't look too bad. Wiring looks pretty good. I looked at the tone ring. The tone ring, it's got a little bit of rust on it, but, I've seen worse. It's not cracked. And then I got up here where that plugs in. And then, come on, focus. Bastard. Come on, right there. That's what I saw. So it corroded through and broke. It's been a problem for a while, but can't believe just sitting there it broke like that. But yeah, I got a bunch of foot traffic. I don't want to catch anybody on the camera that doesn't want to be. So I'm gonna put this together on my own. One more thing I want to point out: when you're replacing sensors on cars, so when I did the other sensor, you see, I got this from Rock Auto. That's the vent control valve. I got that right from Rock Auto, and that's a Hyundai genuine part. Now, on these speed sensors, they come from a company called Mando. And if you have a look around on a Hyundai or a Kia, you'll see that logo, Mando. Sometimes you'll see Denso, and sometimes you'll see Mando. Like this washer pump says Denso on it. I don't have anything. But if you look around on a Hyundai or a Kia, you'll find the name Mando on it. And what I'm getting at is when you buy a sensor, whether it's a speed sensor, a cam sensor, any kind of sensor, you want to try to get it from the manufacturer or manufacturer specific, because these aftermarket sensors, they're not, quality control is a huge thing nowadays, but even before that, like, the sensors wouldn't be calibrated, precisely. These sensors have to read in between a certain equation, or it'll set the check engine light. So like on a crank sensor, I don't think that's a good example, but like on a cam sensor, if a cam sensor doesn't read in between a certain value, it'll throw a code saying that it's not that the ignition timing's off, when in actuality it's just that sensor not putting out the right information to the computer. It's giving the computer false information. The computer relies off of the information they get from these sensors, and if these sensors aren't calibrated to the factory specs, they're not going to work properly, and you'll be chasing your tail trying to figure out what's going on, and the whole time it's because you bought an aftermarket sensor that didn't work. Not all aftermarket sensors are that way, but I guarantee you every sensor you'll get from AutoZone, Advanced Auto Parts, or O'Reilly's you'll have problems with. I had a problem with my sister's Chrysler 200. I had to put a used sensor back in it for the thing to run. After buying a new one from AutoZone, I ended up getting one from the dealer, and it's still not been a problem. So keep that in mind. Whenever you're doing the sensors, don't cheap out. Go to the dealer or go to Rock Auto, and on Rock Auto they offer a lot of manufacturer parts. I will make another short after I'm done with this and I've verified that it's fixed it. Till the next time.